So Reverend Jackson came back from New York on Thursday, and he left for Las Vegas yesterday, right? Yeah, so he's all over the place. So let's keep praying for him. He's working so hard. Can you hear me? Let me see. All right, today's topic is the heart behind the word. So John, the beginning of the John, Gospel of John, right? I'll read. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. So everything was created through the Word, right? In the divine principle, when we study the divine principle, it says Logos is Greek for the Word, or rational principle. So the Word in this Gospel of John, in the beginning, the Word is in the beginning. That is the Logos, according to the divine principle explanation. And the Logos is the, as it said, rational principle, means the combination of the reason and law, which is the comprehensive blueprint for plan. That is from the education thought, right? So, reason and law, or reason, I explain a little bit about this. We have a reason, right? Within our intellect, we have an intellect, will, and emotions in our mind. God gave us that. Then the reasoning is the one, the function of our intellectual ability. So then we reason, we have our ability to reason things, right? Then we know we have a knowledge about things. So that's how we can create. We can create things, like God create things, right? So like when we want to build a church like this, or if you cook, you want to make a curry or spaghetti or whatever, So when you are making something, then you have to think, right? So of course you have some kind of idea. I want to create this kind of things. Then you have to think how I can make it. So your reasoning starts working. Then you know the principle. I can't make, I can't build a church or house, but I can make a car, right? So because I know things like the principle that when you boil thing, then what happen, how long, if you boil too long, then what happen, then you know those kind of things, yeah? Then you know that the beef, what is that? You know the carrot, what kind of taste it has, Then when you have to put things in the boiling water, those kind of things, right? Then you can make the carrot. If you don't know, then you can't make it. Yeah? So that's like a reasoning is using your knowledge or principle, then you create something. In the beginning was the Word. The Word is that kind of the blueprint. God had a blueprint. Then through that, then God could create everything, right? So that is the Logos and the Word. Okay, so now I want to talk about our words, our speaking word or writing language, right? That is basically the same, right? So we want to express, that we, somehow we want to express something through the language, So like when you are speaking something to convey some kind of things to somebody, then you have to think, that your reasoning is working, and that you know that you should know the principle behind the language, Like then you need to know the word, right? Like if I'm gonna say, I love you so much, so then I'm expressing that my feeling that I love you. Then like I say, I love you so much, right? So, but if basically you need to know the word first, like I, I, right? I need to know the I means what, then like a love, what is the meaning of love? So then that's a knowledge like you have. You know those words, and you know the principle how you create the language. The sentence. I love you, right? So unless you know that, then you can't express your feeling, because the I love you makes sense. But like if you say like you I love, then doesn't make sense. That's like that's how it works. So the principle. That's why like I can express my feeling, or like everybody is expressing your feeling or thought or things like that through the language. So that right like I don't know if you know this, but you guys are so smart. You are so smart. I'm so smart too. Like the speaking language, that's amazing, right? That only human can do that, God and human, the reasoning, and we have lots of vocabulary in our head, then you can arrange those words and express your feeling or everything, right? Sometimes like you can express such amazing things behind, through the language. That's amazing, that's really amazing, right? So, okay, you are smart, okay? That's one thing. Anyway, so that when you think about that, right, that you want to express something, like we speak because we want, that kind of like a desire, right? We have a desire to speak, or desire to write, right? Desire to convey some message to other people. That desire is originally coming from the heart we have, right? That's a beginning point. Somehow God gave us their heart, Then, as you know, the heart is the impulse to seek joy, through love. That basically the love, impulse to love, right? So that is their beginning. That's their source of their desire, right? So then then like you want to speak, or you want to communicate with somebody, you want to communicate with your beloved, So then you have to speak or say something. So that you have such a desire, and like you make the sentence, and you are able to convey the message to other people, right? So that the behind the word you speak, then the heart exists. The heart exists, right? That's the heart, right? Basically, the love exists. Supposed to be that the love exists behind the word. I think that's very important thing. That when we speak something, that the word, or like a writing or whatever, that the language you use, that behind that, then something behind. Supposed to be the true love behind. Your good emotion, good heart should be behind our word, right? So that in that sense, that the word is not just a word. That's really spiritual. We may say that there's some spirit behind the word, right? So then we have, we may say, you may have the word or language, or like the word. Word may give a life to people or kill people, So the word has such the very strong the effect to people, right? So that's a word, that we are speaking every day,
We are like saying something every day, all the time, right? But the behind the word, then some spirit exists. Then that should be the heart, right? But there is the not so good heart too, you know? Like we can speak something based on the selfish desire, or based on their selfish emotion, right? Or like no emotion, no love, you know, just saying something, right? All kinds of different things, right? But the important thing is, I think, you know, when you speak, you know, hopefully when you speak, you know, the good heart is behind, you know, love is behind, right? Then actually, we need to make an effort to do that. Now, this is like this is a first lesson. We need to make an effort. Okay? When you speak, you actually like intentionally put your heart into your word. You know, that kind of things is important. That's like you trained it, you train, or like you practice that. Then I think like you become better and better and better. You know, like when you speak to your beloved, you know, your wife, your husband, your children, everybody, you know, like when you're speaking, then when you are saying something, then you want to, of course, convey something, but like try to put your heart into it, you know, then say, right? Then that kind of word is very different from the just you throw the word, right? You know, like you know, that I don't say I love you so much, but you know, like you know, if you love somebody, then you say I love you, right? You know, that's oh, of course, like you know, you want to express your love. That's why you may really put your heart in the word. You know, I love you. Maybe not so good. Me, I can never say that I love you. You know, so I need a practice. But anyway, that put your heart. You know, I don't know that. But okay, let's see. You know, like even the I love you, then like, if you just said I love you, you know, no, I love you. No, oh, I like pizza too. No, I love you too. You know, that kind of I love you. That kind of I love you doesn't work, right? Oh, I mean like a pizza. You know, so no, I don't want that kind of love. You know, nobody wants that kind of love. You know, so like if somebody say to you, they love you. I really love. So like when you like put your heart in it, then like people feel it. We are so spiritual, right? Humans are spiritual. You know, we have some kind of like a spiritual ability. You know, that's why like you feel it. When somebody, you know, somebody is saying something to you, then like then some kind of like heart is behind, then like you feel it. Yeah, that's important, you know, right? That's important. So that's, I hope, you know, like sometimes we can practice. I don't know, like all the time, like, you know, put your heart, you know, like I heard a sister can talk like 2 hours, 5 hours straight, right? Straight, talking. Then always like put your heart, I don't know what that possible or not, you know? But sometimes like I heard, okay? I heard. They can talk without thinking. I don't know if that is true or not. Any thought or thinking, that's basically nothing. Just a word comes out. You know, like a machine producing something, word, pop, 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 pop. Never end, you know. I don't know that is true or not, you know. That might be some kind of truth in there, you know, I don't know. But that, you know, that's okay, you know, if that is not evil things, right? You know, that the bad thing is like sometimes like you have always some, when you have some kind of very complicated, not satisfied, you know, complaining, selfish, not happy things in you, right? You know, so then every word may come from that kind of heart, you know. You don't think much, right? But when you realize, okay, that sometimes like you know somebody, I don't know, you may see somebody like when that person opened the mouth, then like 95% of the word is complaining or cursing, you know? That kind of things. Sometimes people don't really think what they are saying, just saying so many things, you know? Why this coffee is so like not so hot? You know, this is like a two thing, you know? Why it's dirty? Why the stone is right there? You know, that all kind of things. You can complain a lot, you know? That kind of like a word is coming from your negative feeling in your heart, you know? So that is kind of not good, right? That's almost a garbage, yeah. So you are throwing the garbage to other people. Then like, that's not so good for you too, because you are not loving people, right? You are hurting people, no? So, okay, so that the language, I mean, the word is such a, you know, kind of important thing. So, you know, like I hope like we all can kind of try or practice that when you say something, then put your heart in it, you know? And then put your heart in it. So then that's, I think that is really good to, you know, when you want to make the good communication with their spouse or like with their children, you know, with their parents, right? That's important. Then that part, right, that you put your heart into your word, you know, that is important. Then the other important thing is, when you are hearing something, like when you are listening something, then like you try to seek what kind of heart might be, you know, behind the word. When you hear, when you listen, you know, when you are listening somebody, you know, then like you try to understand the heart behind, you know, that kind of things is important too, right? Let's see. That's you know, that's another story. Yeah, another story. What is behind the word? Let's maybe a little bit, okay, maybe a little bit think about, you know, God gave Adam and Eve the word. You know, God gave Adam and Eve the word, right? Not to eat the fruit. Yeah, not to eat the fruit, you know. So then you know what that means. We all know that, right? So then what kind of heart is behind that commandment, not to eat? Yeah? So that is an important thing, right? Then the father said, true father said, somewhere, you know, if Adam and Eve really understand God's heart, the behind, they would never fall, right? They would have never fall. You know? So, but they were immature. They are like just a growing period and immature. That's why they could not really grasp the heart of God behind. You know? So, you know, that's why, like, of course, like, you know, that's kind of a situation that, you know, unfortunately, you know, God gave them their growing period for their great purpose. Then God doesn't want to compromise with that. You know, right? So then that's why they had to go through their growing period. So then they made a mistake. But the important thing is that the behind the commandment not to eat the fruit, then there was the incredible God's love and care for the Adam and Eve, right? That's an important thing, you know. So that when we had, you know, like, you know, children, you know, young children, you may be taught by your parents on the church and Sunday school or everywhere, you know, that not to eat, that's the most important thing. Then the first thing, like, we have to think about it, you know, because like sometimes I heard, again, you know, sometimes you struggle, you know. Always same message, you know, then a strict same message, yeah? So then you get like sick and tired of it, you know, sick and tired of hearing it, you know, whatever, right? That's basically you don't feel love, maybe. Then the one important thing is when the parents are teaching that kind of important message or important truth to their children or whoever, when you are still young, a lot of you, then when you get old and get married and you have children, when you want to educate the truth to their children, right? So then, then you have to put your heart and the true love into your word, right? That in our case, many times we forget to put your heart into your message. So then maybe that's like a major reason that like the people or your children who are hearing it doesn't feel love, doesn't feel your care, doesn't feel like you are the deep heart of love, So that if you just say the word, right? Because you can say the word because that is the truth. The truth is the truth, no compromise, right? Not that the not so good thing is not so good. That the eating the fruit is not so good. That is truth. So that's why we all need to know that, But when God gave that kind of truth to us, the God's heart is because He doesn't want you to be unhappy. God doesn't want you to be the suffering. That's why God gave the message, right? So that is God's heart, That is the true love behind the word, behind the commandment, right? Then we become a parents, Then unfortunately, parenting, we cannot do the second time, third time, I failed once, second time, I'm gonna do that again. You can't do that again. Once children grow up, that's it, right? That's only one experience, That's why that's not easy, But, when you think about how we are teaching things to their kids or anybody, do I have really, do I have the true love in me, Of course, I'm not like God or true parents, right? That's not enough, right? But that you have to gather all the love you have, Then you think about the parents love children. So then when you speak something, then put the love into the word. So that if you don't make that kind of effort, you may fail it, Then the children misunderstand, or they, a lot of, many times that happen, That's because, not feeling love or spirit. Yeah. Then actually, we have not our love is not enough. Also, then we have to grow, right? That's one thing. But the other maybe more important thing is if you really, when you say something, then if you really put your heart in it or not, that's an important thing. Then don't expect that you just say the truth, then they understand. Then they understand the God's heart behind. Because we don't put the heart in the word, right? So, so that's one thing, right? Then also, when you heard something, then try to understand what is behind is also, the important. That is also important, right? So now, I want to move on to the that area. When you true mother, true mother is speaking so many things, and then as he began to talk about only begotten daughter. Maybe Naokimi talked about this a few weeks ago, right? Then why? Because that is the truth. That's the one thing, That's the one thing. That the truth has to be revealed, right? So that I think that's the one thing. Yeah. But I struggled, right? And go back to the Bible story, and I'm going to read the John 8:12. Then, this is the Bible, Gospel of John, right? Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Light of life. Right? I am the light. Right? You follow me. That's what Jesus said. You know? Then the Pharisees therefore said to Jesus, you bear witness of yourself. Your witness is not true. You know? So they got upset. Yeah. Understandable, right? To me, that's understandable. If somebody said, I'm the light, you know? What kind of arrogant person is that? You know, who can say that I am the light, or like I am God in me, or you know, I am in God, or like when you see me, you know, you see God. You know, what kind of person is that, right? So like in our world, it's very understandable. Pharisees got upset. Jesus answered and said to them, right, even if I bear witness of myself, my witness is true, for I know where I came from and where I'm going, but you do not know where I come from and where I'm going. I am one who bears witness of myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness of me. Then I go a little bit, go down, John 8:50. And I do not seek my own glory. Right? There is one who seeks and judges. Most assuredly, I say to you, if anyone keeps my word, he shall never see death. So Jesus is saying, you know, this is not my own glory. I do not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks and judges. You know, so that's Jesus talking about God, right? That's Jesus was saying something like that, but that is God is saying, right? So then, of course, Jews didn't like it. Then the Jews said to him, now we know that you have a demon. Now you have a demon, you know. So that's what they felt, you know, after hearing such a Jesus message. Yeah. If I honor myself, Jesus said, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father who honors me, of whom you say that he is your God. You know. So you believe in God, right? That God honors me. You know. So that's, if I honor myself, that is nothing. Right? So Jesus was saying. Yeah. So then why, you know, you know, he's, you know, of course Jesus, right? Not stupid. Not stupid. If he says something like that, then the people get upset, right? That's kind of reasonable, you know. But why he said that? You know, why he says something like that, right? So then because that is truth. Yeah, you know, that is the truth. So he's saying the truth, right? But when you listen to Jesus' word, you know, then when you seek what is behind his word, you know, why then God is saying something like that through Jesus, you know? So right, I think that is an important thing, that, you know, God lost Adam and Eve. You know, God created Adam and Eve, right, as his full representative. So God does not have the physical body, so God wanted to have something like that, you know, you know, in order to love all their creations and in order to experience their conjugal love, you know, so that he needed to have their body. You know, his body was Adam and Eve, right? So then Adam and Eve, so they are representing God, you know. So, but God lost Adam, you know, Adam and Eve both. So then since then, so he could not appear anywhere, right? He has no tool or like no way to show himself to anybody up until Jesus. Then when Jesus came, you know, then that is the first time that God could show himself to people. That's the first time, right? Eventually he was able to show himself through Jesus, right? So that God is happy, yeah? God is happy because that's eventually that happened. Then because Jesus was born, then Jesus grew up, then Jesus became one with God. He became the body of God. That's why the God can show himself through Jesus, right? That is a really happy thing. Yeah? That God wants to say that. No, I think. Nobody understand, Nobody understand that. Even God is like showing himself. God is revealing himself through the Jesus, but nobody accept. Such a frustrating, sad situation. All right. So that's I think that is happening. So Jesus could not just stop not saying it, because God wants to show himself to the people. You don't know, you didn't know me, up until today, but like you can see me, right now through Jesus, So that's why I think Jesus was like saying that, even though some people get upset, but like God wants to, show himself through Jesus to their people. Yeah. So I think that when mother was saying only begotten daughter talk, then I honestly struggled a lot, because even though I know that is the truth, but why she has to say all the time, that kind of things, right? That's the same struggle that the Naokimi had. But when I read the Bible, in November last year, then that's really hit me, that the heart behind mother's talk, that's the God's there. That's because he was able to show himself half of God, right? God has the masculinity and the femininity, dual characteristics, and his half of him, the masculinity part, was revealed through Jesus 2,000 years ago. Then again, through the true Father this time. But his feminine part, the first time in the human history, this is the first time that God could show himself, his other half, his other half. This is the first time that God could show the half that he could never show, right? That is today, because of the true mother, then the God could show that through true mother. That's the same thing that Jesus was saying like this. Then the mother has to say that the God's heart is behind. What, like asking us, you see me through her, So that's something that you never saw, something like you never knew. Even you may know the Jesus and even the true Father, but the true mother, through her, then God could, really appear through her, his half part. Even though we know that true parents, is they are fully representing God, we know that, right? Pretty much a long time already, But actually we didn't know, when we see the true parents, basically we see the true Father, for a long time. Yeah. So that's maybe my thing, until true mother declared that the only begotten daughter and saying that again and again to us, then I began to understand that the true meaning of the true parents. True parents are really representing God, right? True Father is half of God, and the true mother is half of God. Then we really did not understand. I don't know you, but I did not really understand that the true mother's part, feminine part of God. That is God also, but we really didn't understand that part, right? So now that, because of their true mother, boldly declaring that, then I began to digest things and understand the divine principle deeply more, much more deeply. This is God. And then those two combined, true father, true mother, very different people there. You know, they combine and become one, right? That represents the God, you know? So I really, that's why I appreciate that now, you know. Honestly, I struggled long time, you know, even that is truth. Why you have to say all the time, you know? Then the people may get upset. Then even our members, Unification Church members, sometimes struggle, you know. You know, mother, you said that already, you know. So, but like when we or I understand that what kind of the heart behind, you know, behind the mother's proclamation, behind the mother's word, what's behind? You know, God is there, and God's heart that this is a rejoicing time for God that He could eventually, fully, like that He could appear in front of the people, you know. So that's God's heart, I think, you know. I think that is God's heart. The behind, God is saying it. God is saying such things, you know. So that I realized that a few months ago. Yeah. So that you know that what is behind the word, you know, I think that is really important. You know, I think, yeah. So then now. Now, like we had so many times about the tribe Messiah, you know, that kind of talk. 2020 is near. Then tribe Messiah, you have a mission. You have to do things like this. You have to do this. You have to do that. You know, that kind of talk a lot. When we hear that, you know, then let's try to see what's behind. Yeah. When sometimes the mother is very strict, strong, you know, pretty strong, right? And especially to the leaders, you know, very strong. So when like a mother is strong like that and they're saying something, you know, then she is saying that because that is the truth. Yeah, maybe. But you know, that's like when we want to really seek what kind of heart is behind the word. Why true mother is saying like that? Why she is encouraging something like that? You know. So that's maybe like our homework. Yeah, your homework. Yeah. Then why she is saying like that? Why God said don't eat it? You know, the similar thing. Why God said do not eat it to the Adam and Eve very strictly? You know, that the true love is behind. So like when true father or true mother, you know, both, when they are strongly saying something, you know, this is what you have to do, you know, then if you really do not if we cannot really grasp the heart behind, you know, then even though you may do, you know, because you are good people, you know, I'm so good people, you know, that the good people feel like I know that I have to do this, but if I don't do that, then you feel guilty, right? You know, okay, I know this is truth, then I don't do that, then you feel guilty. You know, that's like, I think we should not stay that kind of a realm, you know, Old Testament age type kind of things, right? You know, that's like, okay, I know, I accept this is the truth. Divine principle is the truth. You know what? That I have a mission. You know, that's what I have to do. If I don't do that, I feel guilty. You know, that's why I don't want to feel guilty. That's why I do something. You know, that's kind of life. It's not so nice. You know, that's almost like a miserable life. You know, like we are in this age. You know, we know at least that God's love is revealed to us, and God's heart is revealed to us. And like we can receive it through true parents, you know, for the first time in the human history. You know, this is a first time. You know, this is really the first time in the human history. Then so you people are the only basically one who really knows that the true parents, and only through them then God can reveal himself. So that's amazing thing. So that whatever the true parents say, or like that give us some kind of word, then that God's heart is behind, right? God's heart is behind. So what is God's heart? What is God is feeling? What kind of feeling he has right now, right? So that don't of course don't just go to the like a negative side, right? God is maybe sad too, still grieving, that's about the situation, that kind of things too. Like we need to know that, yeah, because the God is suffering. God has been suffering. We want to liberate God, But this is the really amazing time that for God, for God, this is such an amazing time that the finally things can change through true parents, and we all, if we make an effort, we can change things around. That's really, okay? When Jesus died 2,000 years ago, he had nothing. He died on the cross by himself, right? Then history changed, That we will change the history, centering on God and true parents, right? So we are living in that kind of time. Then God is so I think really happy that we all are working, together with true parents. Sometimes true parents may be strict, but so let's seek the heart behind, then try to understand God's heart, right? So then that should be our motivation, That should be our motivation. When you do whatever you do, GPA working so hard, then the members here, doing some everyday working, making money, doing something, whatever you do, right? Then like that motivation, we do things that should be, from the God's heart, I think. Aju? Aju. All right, thank you. Join me prayer. Heavenly Parents, thank you very much for this wonderful day. And we know that we are already enter into the new year, 2019. And soon, even in the heavenly calendar, we enter into the new year, 2019. And True Mother is very serious and working so hard, and all the leaders of our movement uniting with True Mother and working so hard. So we really want to know that the God is really also working hard, and he is doing everything he can do to save us and to create or to rebuild his ideal world together with us, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Parents. And when we understand your heart, then we want to do something for you. We want to do something for true parents and work together to build your idea and be happy, Heavenly Parents. Thank you for this time. We want to feel your love every day, and that we want to feel that you are guiding us every day, and we want to do our best, and we want to return the joy back to you and the true parents. I report this in the name of the Rev.Sakai Blessed Central Family. Aju. Thank you.